Hi, YouTube. Are you ready to drop some titans on your enemies for freedom? Good. Then I'll tell you what you need to know. The first thing you should know is that, unfortunately, you cannot use your Titanfall to destroy enemy evac dropships. I've tried multiple times and have attempted to land a Titan on different parts of enemy evac dropships, but in all of my tests, the Titan just passed through and landed below, as demonstrated on screen. The second thing you should know when dropping Titans on enemies is that you should equip the Warp Transmitter. The Warp Beacon will cut the Titan drop timer down to 3 seconds exactly. This will make it much more likely that your enemies will be hit by the Titanfall. When you call in your Titan, it will attempt to fall at the location you're pointing at, and if the location isn't a legitimate piece of land, it'll automatically transfer the drop location to the nearest suitable area. So if you're pointing at the top of a roof, the Titan will arrive as near as it can. This will be relevant when trying to crush enemy Titans, since looking at a Titan to drop a Titan on it is basically looking at whatever's behind it. So if you want to drop a Titan on an enemy Titan, what you need to be looking at is the Titan's feet. You want to target the position the enemy Titan is standing on. When you're dropping your Titan, you should know that there is a limit to the range at which you can deploy it, and the maximum range is currently being demonstrated on screen to give you a visual representation. You can try to drop it further, but it'll just drop at the farthest range available. You should also know that when a Titan arrives, it will come with a temporary shield. If you try to drop a Titan into an enemy shield, your Titan will appear nearby just outside, as if the shield were a small building. If no suitable area is nearby, it will attempt to find one, landing in another location entirely if necessary. As such, it's not recommended that you drop Titans into enemy Titans that still have their shields up, as it will likely do no damage. However, if you call in a Titan and an enemy Titan arrives at the same spot before yours, your Titan will penetrate the enemy shield and destroy their Titan. This can be used if you see an enemy call in one of their Titans to secure a shield-piercing kill, though this may be more difficult to predict or require glancing at the sky if you're suspicious, and you'd only have moments to react. However, you should know that since your Titan comes with its own shield, this can potentially be used to damage or kill enemy Titans that are coming after you, or otherwise protect you from harm. If your Titan is still inside the shield, it'll be protected even from close-range nuclear blasts, so you should consider the technical validity not only of where you want your Titan, but also where you want the shield. Remember that even if you don't land on the enemy directly, things nearby will still take a lot of damage, especially if they remain inside your shield. This can be used to potentially block access to an area for a short time. Now let's talk about getting enemy Titans to hold still long enough to crush them. There are a few different ways to get an enemy Titan to hold still for you. Sometimes you can bait them into a sniper fight from on top of a building and crush them that way, or similarly trick them into thinking you're not about to smash them to bits. But the most effective way to crush enemy Titans and enemy pilots is to hold off on calling in your Titan when you get it, and wait until you get a chance to rodeo an enemy Titan. The two most common defenses against your rodeo will be to either deploy electric smoke, or exit the Titan to attempt to fire on the pilot. In either of these circumstances, the Titan will likely either hold still so the enemy pilot can get out, or avoid moving very much due to wanting to remain in the electric cloud for protection. Some pilots will use electric smoke to get you off and then jump away, and if you're trying to defend your Titan against skilled opponents, this may be wiser than remaining in the electric cloud, but this often doesn't happen. In addition, in cases with slower Titans like the Ogre, there won't be as much opportunity for movement, and nearby terrain can make escape in such a short span of time difficult depending on the circumstances. If the enemy decides to exit his Titan to attempt to fight you or deploy electric smoke and remains inside it, this provides an opportune time to call in your Titan to crush an opponent. You can call in a Titan while rodeoing an enemy Titan, however, there seems to be a bug that makes the Titan sometimes drop a few meters off the mark where you're pointing it at, as currently being demonstrated on screen. You can avoid this issue in a couple of different ways. The first is by pointing at a nearby building to force the Titan to drop where you actually want it, as being demonstrated now. The second option is to, if either electric smoke is deployed or the enemy exits his Titan to kill you, jump off and drop your Titan at the feet of the enemy Titan while you're in the air. This will nearly always destroy the enemy Titan and eliminate the pilot in a good number of cases. It's common for an enemy pilot to immediately re-enter his Titan as soon as the person rodeoing him jumps off, and if this happens, the pilot will be eliminated along with his Titan when yours lands. Since if you're using the Warpfall Transmitter, it will land before he has a chance to move. If the enemy pilot does not jump back in his Titan and starts shooting at you instead, he may survive your Titan's impact. However, you'll now have a Titan where he does not, and you'll be able to move into your Titan's landing shield for additional protection against any nearby threats. If you're fighting skilled opponents, you can also combine this with the use of throwing explosives, such as satchel charges, in front of the enemy Titan when the pilot is exiting, to eliminate the pilot, as shown earlier in this video, and more information on that is available in my previous video regarding the basics of Titan rodeoing. You are free to utilize other explosives or strategies if you so desire, and you may consider arc mines or grenades to blur enemy vision, or other alternatives. But it should be noted that, contrary to popular myth, arc grenades and mines do not stun a Titan in the context of preventing movement, so a Titan hit by an arc grenade can keep moving and, therefore, dodge a Titanfall. Anyway, that's the basics about using the Warpfall Transmitter to crush enemies and secure kills. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later, YouTube.